Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Memoir of a Snail, which is one of the most emotional movies from 2024. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. My girlfriend and I both teared up watching this movie, and by the time it ended, we were both sitting there thinking about how emotional and human this movie is. This is a stop-motion claymation film, but do not let that make you think that it's just quirky or cute or lighthearted. This movie is dark, sad, it's melancholic. It deals with loneliness, grief, trauma, neglect, feeling abandoned, feeling unloved, and the pain that can stack up in a person's life over time. But what makes it so special is that even though it's carrying all of that sadness, it still has this strange warmth to it. There's still humor in it. There's still hope in it. There's still this sense that even in a broken life, there can still be meaning. FYI, this review will contain minor spoilers. The story follows Grace Puddle, who grows up in Australia with her twin brother Gilbert and their father Percy. Their bond as siblings is one of the emotional foundations of this movie, and I think that relationship is a huge part of why the story of this movie works as well as it does. From early on, you can feel that these two really need each other. Grace is this shy, wounded, very internal person, and Gilbert is kind of that protector for her. So when their father dies and the two are separated into different foster homes, the movie immediately takes on this aching feeling of loss that never really leaves. And that's something that I really appreciated about the writing. This movie understands how pain lingers. It understands how a person can spend years emotionally stuck because of something they lost a long time ago. Grace's whole life becomes shaped by sadness, by longing, by absence. She starts hoarding snail-related items, clinging to objects and routines and memories because they feel safer than real connection. And that idea hit really hard for me. The movie is not just saying that Grace is sad. It's showing how sadness can change the way a person lives, the way they attach themselves to things, and the way that they struggle to move forward. That's one of the strongest things about Memoir of a Snail. It depicts very ordinary human suffering in a way that feels honest and specific. Losing parents, being separated from siblings, feeling neglected by the people who are supposed to care for you, struggling to connect with adoptive parents, feeling unwanted in romance, carrying guilt, carrying shame. This is a movie made out of clay, but the emotions still feel very, very real. I also just think the characters are wonderfully written. Grace is such a sad but compelling protagonist because she feels so fragile but never fake. Gilbert is easy to care about because you understand how deeply he loves his sister, and that emotional tether between them gives this whole film a heartbeat. Pinky is another huge standout. She brings so much life to the movie. She's eccentric and funny and weird and kind of ridiculous in the best ways, but she also ends up being one of the most emotionally important characters in the film. She adds a lot to the movie's warmth, and without her, this movie could risk becoming too bleak. Instead, she helps balance out the tone by giving the story some light. Visually, I think this movie is fantastic. The stop-motion claymation is beautiful, and not in a glossy, polished, bright kind of way. It's beautiful in a gloomy, textured, handmade way. This world feels and looks sad. The character designs are odd and imperfect and sometimes a little ugly, but intentionally so. It all adds to the personality of the film. There's this dark, worn down, melancholic visual identity that makes the movie feel unlike anything else. You can tell so much detail and care went into every single frame, every single set, every single expression, and every little detail. That craftsmanship is a huge part of why I love this movie. This does not feel like a movie that was just made casually. It feels deeply handmade, deeply personal. You can feel the love and you can feel the pain in it too. That personal element matters even more when you know that in real life, this movie was inspired by real people that Adam Elliot met in his life. Grace being partly based on his mother, some of her hoarding tendencies, a friend with a cleft palate, other details inspired by family and people he knew. That all makes sense when you watch this movie because it feels lived in. It feels like it comes from somewhere real. It doesn't feel like somebody just making up a sad story to manipulate the audience. It feels like somebody is trying to process real emotional truths through animation, and I think that sincerity comes through in every part of the film. As far as the tone goes, I think this movie walks a very impressive line. Because this is a very sad film, but it never feels emotionally dishonest. It never feels like it's begging you to cry, and it also never becomes so miserable that it pushes you away. It still has this dry, strange, wistful humor running through it. There are moments that are weirdly funny, and so in the midst of the darkness, I appreciate that because it makes it feel more like real life. Even when life is awful, there are still bizarre moments, awkward moments, ridiculous moments, little bits of humor that keep you going. I don't remember the music super clearly off the top of my head, but instead what I do remember is how this movie made me feel. It made me emotional, not just in this sad kind of way, but in a deeply human way. There it is again. It made me think of how easy it is for pain to make somebody retreat from life, how easy it is to become closed off, bitter, isolated, or stuck. But it it also shows that healing is possible, connection is possible, that meaning can still be found even after years of sadness. And that's probably why this movie hits so hard. At its core, this is a story about resilience, it's about adversity, it's about what grief and loneliness can do to a person, but also about how love, friendship, and human connection can help pull somebody back out of that darkness. I love that this movie doesn't ignore suffering, but it also doesn't surrender to it. Overall, I think Memoir of a Snail is fantastic. It's beautifully made, deeply felt, emotionally honest, and full of care. The stop motion work is incredible, the writing is strong, the characters are unique and memorable, and the themes are painfully relatable in a human way. This is the kind of movie that reminds you animation can do so much more than just entertain. It can cut deep, it can reflect real life, it can make you feel seen. I see no flaws in this movie, and I would absolutely recommend it. Thank you for listening to my review of Memoir of a Snail. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the video, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.